Hey, welcome to Ignite Online. It's Pete here. Welcome to our summer program. It's going to be Ignite Shorts over the summer like we did back at Easter. So every week we're going to put out a short video which all link together and give you something to do and to think about over this summer holiday. This summer we're going to do a series looking at different characters through the Bible and what made them just like you and me. Really good at some things, really not so good at others. But God loved them all and used them all anyway. Take a look at this story about a group of people that Jesus chose to follow him.
As Jesus was preaching on the shore of the Sea of Galilee, a big crowd of people gathered. As the crowd grew, the people pressed closer and closer to Jesus.
Jesus saw two empty boats at the water's edge. The fishermen had left and were washing their nets.
Jesus stepped into one of the boats. It belonged to Simon and his brother Andrew.
Simon? Don't you mean Peter?
Well, later Jesus gives Simon a new name and calls him Peter, but that hasn't happened yet, so in this story, his name is still Simon.
Got it. So where were we? Oh yeah, Jesus asked Simon to take him out on the water away from the shore.
Right, and Simon did it. Jesus sat in the boat away from the shore and taught the crowds from there. When Jesus finished teaching, he said,
"Go out where it is deep and let down your nets to catch some fish."
We worked hard all night and didn't catch a thing, but if you say so, I'll let down the nets again.
Simon and Andrew let down their nets, and this time, when they pulled the nets out of the sea, they were so full of fish they began to tear. They called out to their friends who owned the other boat.
Guys, bring your boat over here. You're not going to believe this.
James, John, and their father Zebedee brought their boat over. Soon, both boats were so full of fish, they almost sank.
The fishermen were amazed. They knew Jesus had performed a miracle right in front of them. Simon fell to his knees.
He was in awe. Simon saw how powerful Jesus was and knew he must have been sent by God.
Oh Lord, please leave me. I don't deserve to be near you. I have disobeyed God.
Don't be afraid. From now on, you'll be fishing for people.
Jesus meant that from that day forward, they would be telling people everywhere about Jesus and his power, and because of that, many would choose to follow Jesus.
When they got back to shore, Simon and his brother Andrew decided to follow Jesus.
Their friends, James and John, left their boat with their father so they could follow Jesus too.
Those 4 fishermen left everything behind so they could follow Jesus' example.
They learned about Jesus, spent time with him, and discovered how to do everything the way Jesus did.
And that's how Simon,
also known as Peter,
along with Andrew, James, and John, became Jesus' very first disciples.
Through the mountains and oceans, through the sand and the trees, I will go with your power, your spirit living in me. Through the mountains and oceans, through the sand and the trees, I will go with your power, your spirit living in me. Whoever we are, wherever we've come from, Jesus is calling our names. You have called me, so I will follow. You will lead me, so I will go. When I stumble and when I fall down, you pick me up and you lead me on. Through the mud and the thunder, through the cold winter snow, your love always surrounds me. So with a smile I will go. Whoever we are, wherever we've come from, Jesus is calling our name. You have called me, so I will follow. You will lead me, so I will go. When I stumble and when I Whoever we are, wherever we've come from, Jesus is calling our names. Whoever we are, wherever we've come from, Jesus is calling our names. You have called me, so I will follow. You will lead me, so I will go. When I stumble and when I fall down, you pick me up and you lead me on. You have called me, I will follow. You will lead me, I will go. When I stumble, when I fall down, you pick me up and you lead me on.
So that was the story of Jesus calling his first disciples, Peter and Andrew and James and John. Now, Jesus had 12 disciples, and do you know what? They were all different. They were all different from each other, just like you and me. We're different. We're good at some things, we're bad at others. But Jesus knew this when he called them. He knew exactly who they were and what they were like, and he called them to follow him and become fishers of men anyway. Do you know what? God loves you and me just as we are. He wants us to know him and to be part of his family just as we are. Now, in this series, we're going to look at a load of different characters from throughout the Bible, all of whom are different, all of whom have their own unique stories. But do you know what? God knew them and loved them all anyway. He wanted them all to be part of his family. We're going to take a look at these characters, and we've got a craft that will help us remember who they were and what they might have been like. Take a look at what Ali and I are doing for the craft, and then you can have a go too.
So some of you might have played the game called Top Trumps before. And throughout the summer, as we talk about different characters from the Bible, we are going to build our own set of Bible Top Trumps. And there is a link in the description to a template where you can make your own cards. So each week, as we talk about different characters, you can make your own cards, which is what Pete's doing just now from today's story. You can add them to your deck and you can have a game of Top Trumps with them. So, Pete, who have you chosen today from the story?
I'm going to do Simon Peter.
Okay, so Pete's put his name at the top. He has put a picture.
I'm doing a picture at the moment.
Peter in there.
My picture's not finished yet, but you can see it was about Jesus calling him from being a fisherman. So I'm going to do a fishing boat there, and then Peter on the boat and a little Jesus there.
Excellent. And you've put where in the Bible to find...
Yeah, you can find the story of these being called, which we just saw in Mark 1.
Okay, and then the other bit is there are 4 different words that you need to give each character a score out of 10 for. You can decide from what you hear about in the story and what you know about these characters. So the first one is courage, which is like how brave somebody is. What have you given Peter for his courage?
I think he was above average because Peter was often acted without thinking first, and he was brave and was like, Jesus, I'll protect you, I'll do things. There's other stories in the Bible all about Peter like that, so I'm going to give him a 6, a little bit above average.
Okay. The next one is faithfulness, which is like sticking by somebody and meaning that they can rely on you and they can depend on you. So what have you got for faithfulness for Peter?
I went for a 6 again because I think Peter wanted to follow and be faithful to Jesus, and Jesus ended up saying he was going to be the rock on which he was going to build his church.
Excellent. Okay. Next we've got obedience, which is all to do with doing what you're told and following the rules. So that could be following what God says, or it could be doing what other people tell you to do. So what have we got for Peter?
I went a 6 again. Are you seeing a trend here?
Pretty good.
Because, Jesus said, lay down your nets and follow me. And the very first thing that Peter did that.
Okay, and the last one we've got is cunning. So that could be being sneaky, making plans. What have we got for Peter? Sneakiness and cunning.
I've gone for a 4 for Peter on that one because, like I said with courage, he often did things first without thinking. He wasn't very good at making plans and being sneaky. He was a bit headstrong and just got on with stuff. So I've only given him a 4.
Okay, so I've made a card and I've picked one of the other disciples who we find about later in the Gospels called Matthew. So I've drawn a little picture and I've put his scores on. Okay, so you can choose different people, different disciples from the story. You can make as many as you want. And Pete, let's have a little game to demonstrate how this works.
I haven't finished my picture yet, but that's okay.
So when you've got your whole deck, just in case you've not played Top Trumps before, you split it in half between you. You each take the top card, and one player chooses one of the words down the bottom. What are you going to choose, Pete?
I wasn't listening to what scores you put for him,
That's
so...
good job.
Okay.
That'd be cheating.
But Peter is good at courage. I think he was brave. So I'm going to go, Peter, courage 6.
Oh, Matthew, courage 5.
So I would take your
Peter,
card,
take my
and it
card.
become part of my deck.
Now, at the moment, we've only got 2 cards. That does not make a good game of Top Trumps. But we're going to be patient because each week over the summer, we're going to have more stories, more characters, and we are going to add more Top Trumps to our deck.
And as you're doing this craft, if you download the sheet that is in the link is in the description of this video, you don't have to just do one Top Trumps card for one of the disciples from the story. You could do all 12 of them if you wanted to. Look through the Bible and get people to help you know where the stories are so you can learn something about these characters and maybe make Top Trumps for more than one.
Okay,
Have fun.
enjoy.